This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. Young Master Yun, Mo Huayuan said with a grave expression, not only has the formation disk been damaged, but the spatial tunnel seems to have been severely damaged as well. Even if the formation plate is repaired, we might not be able to pass through smoothly. The risk is huge. Yunxiao asked in surprise. The passage is destroyed? If it's just a fight for the teleportation order, at most it'll destroy the formation plate. Don't tell me. Young Master Yun, are you saying that someone deliberately destroyed the passage? Li Feiyu asked in surprise. Yes, that's very likely. We don't know the extent of the damage though. Let's go and take a look. Yunxiao also looked worried. If the passage was completely destroyed, they would be in trouble. Take a look. Don't tell me you're able to measure the area of damage? The 8th tier alchemy master said with a strange expression and widened eyes. I can't, Yunxiao said indifferently. I can only repair all the damaged parts. Ah. The 8th tier alchemist opened his mouth wide. Mo Huayuan's heart jolted. The technique to repair a spatial passageway was far more difficult than a simple array disk. Moreover, the greatest danger was the risk of being drawn into spatial turbulence at any time. Although Yunxiao had barely defeated him by chance and tricks, he did not think that the latter had the strength to directly repair the passage. The passage behind the formation plate is almost impassable. It's extremely dangerous. He warned out of goodwill. Mo Xiaochuan glanced at the 8th tier alchemist contemptuously and said with a sneer, "Open your eyes wide and watch, you frog in the well." Then, he glared at Mo Huayuan and said, "And you? Your vision is too low. You'll never climb to the peak." Although he did not know anything about the art of magic, his master was the only person in the world who could defeat the great alchemist of the demon race. If even he could not do anything, then the teleportation array would be completely doomed. Mo Huayuan seemed like he wanted to say something, but he stopped himself after moving his lips. The 8th tier alchemist said angrily, "Master Mo, let's just wait and watch a good show, humph." Li Feiyu was also suspicious. Could it be that Yunxiao's strength was above the 8th tier? This thought gave him a fright, and he quickly followed. The people around the teleportation formation had stopped talking long ago and were all discussing among themselves. When they saw the crowd, they immediately stopped talking and revealed looks of respect. It was obvious that Mo Huayuan's strength had gained everyone's respect and affirmation. Yunxiao walked straight into the array, bent down, and put his hand in the eye of the array to sense it. Behind the array eye was an unknown void. His divine sense instantly radiated tens of thousands of miles away, but he couldn't sense any connecting passage. It was destroyed so thoroughly. It's definitely not an ordinary accident. Li Feiyu's expression changed drastically, and anger appeared on his face. I thought it was strange. There's indeed a reason behind this. Young Master Yun, can you repair it? He was losing his cool. Yun shouted the same as he said in a deep voice, I've tried, but I have to enter the void to find the broken path. How dangerous is it to enter the void? Mo Xiaochuan exclaimed. Why don't you let me do it? Yunxiao shook his head. You don't know the way. Besides, the risk is not as serious as you think. I have my own way. He placed his hand on the array eye, and an extremely powerful soul power flowed from his hand into the array. He then sat cross-legged and paid no attention to the outside world. Mo Huayuan's pupils contracted as an inexplicable emotion welled up in his heart. He seemed to have sensed something. Lord Yangping, this place has been turned into a forbidden land for the time being. No one is allowed to come close. Otherwise, we'll kill without mercy. Mo Xiaochuan said in a serious tone. Of course. Yang Ping's heart trembled. He hurriedly began to disperse the crowd. Some warriors were easy to deal with, but many alchemists were reluctant. Didn't he say he was going to connect the passage in the void? The 8th tier alchemist said angrily. Why are you still sitting here? Didn't you say that you wanted me to take a good look? Why is there no more? Mo Xiaochuan pointed at him and said, the rest of you can leave. You can stay. I'll let you watch carefully today. Otherwise, you'll be speechless. The 8th-tier alchemist was exasperated, and he snorted coldly and said, I'll see how he embarrasses himself today. Big brother, Mo Huayuan said solemnly, can you tell me what technique young Master Yun is using? Mo Xiaochuan shook his head. I don't know either. But you don't look too good. This technique is extremely similar to one of my master's divine powers. Mo Huayuan replied. Mo Xiaochuan smiled wryly and did not say anything. He thought to himself, your master is still in my master's transcendent artifact. However, he could not say this out loud. Huayuan, although I don't understand the art of sorcery, all the techniques in the world are connected. You may have achieved a certain level of success, but you must not be arrogant. Take martial arts as an example. Stepping into the martial emperor realm is just the beginning. I'll remember your teachings, big brother. Mo Huayuan's heart trembled. This time, the 8th-tier alchemist also fell silent, as if he agreed with Mo Xiaochuan. Everyone sat down and waited quietly beside Yun Xiao, as they had run out of good ideas. Yang Ping ordered a large number of experts to seal off the surroundings so that not even a mosquito could fly in. What Yun Xiao used was Starlight Soul Body. He condensed a stream of soul power outside his body and sent it into the void. Holding the Divine Realm tablet in his hand, the soul shuttled through the endless night. There was only an endless night in the void, with no end in sight. Yun Xiao did not know how long he had been walking in this way, but suddenly, a large amount of spatial disturbances appeared in front of him, with different laws and floating chaos. So the point of destruction was here. Who did it? It actually drifted so far away. It seems that it will take some time, Yun Xiao said to himself. He stepped on the Divine Realm tablet and was about to start repairing it when an extremely sharp light suddenly struck at him. Shocked, Yun Xiao hurriedly dodged to the side as he stared into the void and shouted, Who is it? You're actually hiding in this void. You must have deliberately destroyed this passage. TSK, you're so smart. However, no matter how smart he is, he can't be as smart as my young master. 7 figures slowly emerged from the void, and one of them sighed with emotion. At that time, young master said that the 7 of us were to stay here to guard the passage in case someone repaired it. At that time, I was very disdainful and thought it was unnecessary. At this moment, it was indeed necessary. I have to admire my young master's intelligence and wisdom. Yun Xiao's eyes swept over the 7 people one by one as he chuckled and said, I think your young master is really stupid. Otherwise, he wouldn't have sent the 7 of you to your deaths. What a joke. Judging from your aura, you're just a 3rd-tier alchemist. Do you really think you can kill the 7 of us? The person in the lead only felt that it was funny. Don't talk nonsense with him, another man said. These alchemists are all out of their minds. They are so arrogant and arrogant. I've suffered a lot from these people. Let me kill this man to calm down. I've been in this void for so long, and I'm bored to death. It's not easy to have something fun, so how can I let you enjoy it alone? If you want to go, let's go together. Another person shouted as if he had seen meat and began to distribute it. Yun Xiao was not in a hurry, so he watched them struggle coldly. Among the 7, except for one who had the cultivation base of a martial honor, the others were all martial emperors. I'm curious who the young master you are talking about is? Why would a dying man know so much? One of them snorted coldly. You can't even tell someone who's about to die. Yun Xiao laughed. You can't tell me? Don't be so cruel, okay? Not good. An ant should have the consciousness of an ant's misery. The man sneered. The martial venerable snorted. Stop fighting. He's just an ant. I can kill him with one move. He's not enough to fill the gaps between my teeth. If you don't want to go, I'll go. Don't, let us have some fun. The other 6 people said almost in unison as they rushed forward. Since I can't get anything out of you, Yunshao said, I'll give you an eternal rest. He pointed a beam of light at his feet, and the Divine Realm tablet immediately shone with a bright light and flew forward. 3 people flew out of the light. Yunshao smiled and said, It's been a long time since I let you out to get some fresh air. You can move your muscles and bones. The 3 of them stood in a row. They were Duanyu, Jiolin, and Dark Thunder. The aura they exuded startled the 6 men, and then they were shocked. What's going on? Where did these 2 people and 1 beast come from? Not good. They're almost at the peak of the martial emperor realm. Try to keep them alive, Yunshao said. I have something to ask. Don't worry, as long as that revered martial artist doesn't interfere, these people won't be a problem. Duanyu burst into laughter and said heroically, Old Yu, how many of them will you deal with? Yu Jiolin snorted lightly. They're just a motley crew. Whatever. The 2 of them had stayed in the Divine Realm tablet for too long and had already broken through to the peak of the martial emperor realm. In addition to the Dark Thunder, there were a total of 3 experts at the peak of the martial venerable realm, which shocked 6 people. Impudent. With this old master here, how can you be so arrogant? The martial honor was also shocked, but fortunately, they were only martial honors and were still within his control. Dear, your opponent is here. Although Yunshao's voice was gentle, it rang in his ear like a talisman of death. Then, the martial honor expert saw a puppet that emitted the aura of a peak martial honor appear in front of him. His heart immediately sank to the bottom and became cold. Go. Yunshao snapped his fingers, and the Calabash King Kong, Duanyu, and the others rushed forward heroically. The 7 enemies fell into despair, and it was a one-sided slaughter. In just a few breaths, 3 of the 7 were dead and 4 were seriously injured. The martial venerable was also brought forward by the gored little King Kong. Duanyu shouted that it was boring and that his opponent was too simple, so he brought Yu Jiolin and Dark Thunder back to the Divine Realm tablet. Alright, can you all tell me who this young master you're talking about is? All the meridians in the revered martial artist's body had been broken, and he was almost paralyzed. He groaned, just kill me. Young master will definitely avenge me. Yunshao shook his head and sighed. I hate tough people the most when I'm interrogating them. Besides, you're all just pretending to be tough. Yunshao pointed a finger at the revered martial artist, and 2 sword beams immediately shot out. With a miserable scream, the revered martial artist's arms were separated from his body and flew into the endless night. The faces of the other 3 who had not died all changed. They were not afraid of death. To be able to walk on the martial path until now, which one of them did not take life and death lightly? However, a warrior could be killed but not humiliated. It was very difficult for them to die from humiliation. Just kill us. If you're also a martial artist, then please give us the dignity that martial artists deserve. The dignity of a warrior? Yunshao sneered. Then please do your part as the loser. The responsibility of the loser? Everyone was confused and frowned. That's right, it's the responsibility of the loser, Yunshao said. Tell me everything I need to know first, or don't talk to me about the dignity of a warrior. The 4 of them trembled, and the martial venerable said in horror, No, I can't say. I said that young master won't let us go. It's fine if you die, but don't drag our family down with you. Sigh, life and death are both difficult. Then I'll have to torture you slowly. Yunshao sighed. The 4 men trembled. When they looked up at Yunshao in fear, they saw a pair of blood-red crescent eyes. At the place where the teleportation grand array was being repaired, everyone was already somewhat impatient from waiting. The 8th-tier alchemist frowned and said, Is he really repairing the formation? What was the point of sitting there knowing that the space passage had broken in the void? He's just pretending to be a ghost. His thoughts were shared by everyone except Mo Xiaochuan. Shut up, you frog in the well. Mo Xiaochuan said coldly. If this kind of blame and suspicion fell on him, he could just laugh it off and not mind at all. However, he could not tolerate anyone who was fighting against his master. Mo Xiaochuan was afraid that he would not be able to take it anymore and would kill this person with a single palm. Humph, what else do you have other than cursing? If you want me to shut up, then show me some real skills. The 8th tier alchemist couldn't help but burst out in anger. I've always been in charge of repairing this array, and it's almost complete. You've just arrived. Not only is it useless to repair the array, but you're also trying to play tricks. How hateful. Oh, almost finished? If you really had the ability to finish it, would we still be sitting here in boredom? If you don't have the ability, then just sit here and wait. Mo Xiaochuan said coldly. Enough, I've had enough. Even a Martial Supreme doesn't have the right to shout in front of me. I've seen many Martial Supremes. The 8th tier alchemist rose to his feet, pointed at Yun Xiao, and said, Your young master Yun, if you can repair this teleportation array, I will immediately kneel down and kowtow to you. If he can't, then make him kneel down and kowtow to me. Do you dare to bet? Mo Xiaochuan furrowed his brows and said, Although I'm willing to take the bet, I can't make the decision regarding young master Yun's matters. How about this, if young master Yun can't repair it, I'll kneel down and kowtow to you. If he's done with the repairs, you can just kneel down and kowtow a few times, but there's no need to acknowledge him as your master. I don't think he'll accept you as his disciple. You coward. The 8th tier alchemist was exasperated, and he said angrily, I'll make you kneel then. Although I've seen many martial emperors, I've never seen a martial emperor kneel before me. Mo Xiaochuan laughed. Also, no 8th tier alchemist has ever knelt before me. I think it'll be very enjoyable. The bet between the two of them immediately made the people around them dizzy. This was no ordinary bet. Whether it was an 8th tier alchemist or a martial emperor kneeling, it was a big event that could shock the whole city, and everyone was drenched in cold sweat. Big brother, how could you be so careless? Mo Huayuan was also shocked. Although he knew how powerful Yun Xiao was, he did not believe him so blindly. Mo Xiaochuan laughed, Don't worry, this idiot is definitely going to kowtow to me. It's just that I suddenly have a wicked idea. If I can see young Master Yun fail, it'll be worth it even if I have to kowtow a few times. As far as Mo Xiaochuan could remember, he had never seen Yun Xiao fail. He had been wondering who in the world could defeat his master, whether in martial arts or alchemy. Therefore, when the news of the Holy Region ranking battle spread, he was very surprised that Yun Xiao was ranked 3rd. In his heart, he really wanted to see what kind of people Ao Chongkong and Zhuo Qingfan were. To think that they could actually defeat the gods in his heart. This Tao Wu. Mo Huayuan was speechless. His lips moved slightly as he secretly transmitted a message, Big brother, who exactly is this young Master Yun? Can't you and I reveal it to each other? Mo Xiaochuan sighed. You'll find out sooner or later. There's no need to rush. Mo Huayuan was completely at a loss for words. He could only sigh and pray in his heart that Yun Xiao would not fail. Otherwise, he would never be able to accept watching his big brother kneel down and kowtow to someone. The 8th tier alchemist was still very respectful to Mo Huayuan, and he said, Don't worry, Master Mo. On your account, I'll get your elder brother to apologize. He doesn't need to kneel. Thank you. Mo Huayuan said gratefully. Suddenly, Yun Xiao, who was sitting in the center of the array, slowly opened his eyes and said with a smile, Even so, I'm too embarrassed to ask you to kneel. Young Master Yun. Mo Xiaochuan was the first to rush up and say, How is it? Of course. Yun Xiao laughed. In order to stop you from kowtowing to others, I'll repair it even if I have to risk my life. Otherwise, if you kowtow to someone, wouldn't I be honored? Sigh, how disappointing. That idiot was so confident, Mo Xiaochuan sighed. I thought I could finally see you fail once. His pretentious look immediately made everyone want to give him a few slaps. After a brief daze, the 8th tier alchemist shook his head in shock and said, Impossible. I don't believe you. You're lying. He hurriedly ran into the array and began to pour his soul power into the array. Soon, his expression changed drastically and he became completely stunned. Mo Huayuan was shocked as well. He checked everything in horror and found that they had all been connected to an infinite distance. He looked at Yunxiao in shock, and his heart was in turmoil, such a powerful strength. Is he a ninth-tier being? Although Yang Ping and Li Feiyu were also shocked, they were more happy. Li Feiyu took a deep breath and laughed, I can finally leave this damn place. Yang Ping said, a ghostly place? Could it be that my hospitality in Yufeng City wasn't good enough for young Master Li to be so displeased? Li Feiyu knew that he had misspoken and hurriedly apologized. Yang Ping laughed loudly. Young Master Li, there's no need to be so polite. There are still 7 days left until the martial arts and sorcery double gathering in Songyue City. If we don't make it in time, Myriad Treasure Store's position will be in danger. Lord Yang is being too serious. Myriad Treasure Store's foundation isn't supported by 1 or 2 people, and it's not something that anyone can shake. The entire 10,000 Treasures Tower doesn't have many of me, and its ability is really limited. Yang Ping smiled. Since this teleportation array was repaired by young Master Yun, it should naturally be used by young Master Yun and young Master Li first. Please, everyone. The 8th-tier alchemist was still standing in the array, stunned. Even though Mo Xiaochuan had one, he was a martial supreme. Naturally, he would not be petty and would not be bothered to make him fulfill his promise. Earlier, it was only because he had pointed at Yunxiao that he was extremely angry. Hua Yuan, farewell. I don't know when we'll meet again. Mo Xiaochuan sighed. Blood was thicker than water, and he was closer to his cousin than any other biological brother. After this short meeting, they immediately went their separate ways. Big brother, I should be staying by Master's side and continuing to train. If you have time, you can come to the Holy Region to find me at any time. Mo Huayuan was also extremely reluctant to part, and the 2 brothers hugged each other. All of a sudden, a strange voice rang out in the air, followed by a strange laugh. Yangping, why didn't you inform us that the teleportation formation was fixed and let someone else use it first? Our lord really has a high status in your eyes. Yang Ping's expression changed to one of shock. A beam of light shot over from the distance, passing through the layers of defenses of the warriors. No one could react in time. Moreover, the power of that light was so strong that no one dared to block it. When the light fell on the courtyard and spread out, there were actually 9 cultivators. Among the 8 people, there was an old man in green, his green robe full of skull patterns, who was lazily sitting in a palanquin. The 8 martial artists around the old man were all overbearing. A young man on the left shouted, Yangping, my lord said that if it's repaired, he'll be the first to be informed. You actually let someone else use it first. Do you still have my lord in your eyes? Yangping was shocked. He quickly bowed and said, Lord Gongsun, this formation was repaired by them a moment ago. That's why I let them use it first. It's also a test to avoid any mistakes. It would be too dangerous if something went wrong during the void travel. Oh, so there's a reason why you didn't take my words to heart? Since it's been repaired, let them get lost, the old man said slowly. I'm willing to be the test subject to prevent those weak dregs from accidentally losing their lives. Yang Ping's forehead was covered in cold sweat as he said awkwardly, this Bayan, Lord Gongsun, this is not appropriate. You are a Bayan. All right. Don't talk nonsense, I've made up my mind to make them scram. Gongsun Zhan pointed at Yunxiao and the others, but his eyes were half narrowed, as if they were not worthy of his attention. Under his aura, Yang Ping did not dare to disobey him. Instead, he looked at Yunxiao with a pleading look. Since when did the heavenly martial realm have so many stupid birds? Yunxiao frowned. Mo Xiaochuan laughed. Who said they're stupid? That's because they're all very smart when you're powerful. They know how to be your grandsons. How can such people be called stupid birds? At most, he's just a clown.